Welcome back to another episode of Two Bros, Two Brews.
We're going to be doing Three Floyds Brewing Alpha King. It's a pale ale. They're from Munster, Indiana,
Right.
I believe.
Right next to Chicago.
Apparently, it's kind of hard to find.
We got it imported directly from a secret distributor.
Special delivery.
Special delivery down in the
Pretty excited about
down
this
to the
one.
southern parts of the United States, the undisclosed location where we are. Do a little pour.
Right.
That's actually pretty.
Special
That's
glass.
pretty dark. Remember, you have to share it with me.
Yeah, I know. I'm feeling out a half here.
Exactly.
Exactly half. I think that's
Very close to that. Get some head on there.
it's
So
looking
what?
good. Little cloudy.
So it's a pale ale. Definitely smells IPA.
Supposed to be some caramel flavors in this guy.
Yeah, definitely fruity, like you would expect. Cheers.
Here we go.
It's pretty good. It is kind
I
of
like
sweet.
that a
It's
lot.
very sweet. A little
Yeah, I'm
timid on
kinda
IPA.
surprised.
It's not super like bitter.
I don't drink pale ales very often, actually, but I like this one more than others, I can say.
Yeah, I think it's
It's,
IPAs pretty often, or it's APA, American Pale Ale.
Yeah.
You know the differences?
I mean, IPAs are a lot hoppier.
Okay,
I'm sure there's like a very technical difference,
Yeah.
but pale ales are like smoother to
that
drink.
makes sense. Okay. Alcohol is 6.66.
6.66
So
ABV.
you know it's pretty lit. So it's a nice beer. What do you think?
It doesn't really have like an aftertaste.
Not really.
It's kind of cool because a lot of times like they'll linger. You know, this is like it's got a strong taste, but then it's just over with once you're done with it, which I kind of like.
I don't really get a strong taste from it. Not compared to like a normal IPA.
Oh yeah. IPAs are gonna
Like it's very like dulled down. It's like pretty
Mhm.
smooth. I actually enjoy it a lot more than IPAs. I think. I mean, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I know IPAs
It
are-
is. It's kind of easy. It's a little easier to drink. I'd have a couple of these. I think. I give it
A couple Hopkins on the piss scale.
on the piss scale.
Piss scale. Just to recap every episode. 1 is the best score because it doesn't taste like piss. 10 means it tastes
It's
like
urine.
piss. It is piss. It's 10 out of 10 piss. So that's just something to keep in mind.
I give it. I'm thinking like 3.5 maybe. It's close to the 3 range.
Okay. I'd say like do some math in my head.
You got it.
2.8. Final
2.8?
answer. 2.8 on the piss scale. Stamped.
I'm
and
okay with
approved.
that.
It's a good brew. I'm not gonna give it
If
another
I was
taste.
if I was in Indiana, I'd look for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good brewery. I think it's actually pretty hard to get outside of that local area, I suppose.
It's in the Midwest. I
Yeah,
mean,
definitely
they got it in
Midwest,
Illinois for sure.
Indiana, I'm assuming. Probably
Yeah.
somewhere around Iowa.
Yeah.
Three Floyds Brewing. I've never heard of them until we got these specially imported from a secret
From
distributor.
our distributor, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool artwork. You see the artwork?
All their beers have like cool names and like cool like jokes, almost like the 6.66
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. They gotta keep it funny.
I like that
It's not normal.
because I'm sure they're
That's
pushing some people away with it.
Well, that's
but,
right.
like,
they're making a
they don't
niche.
care.
They're making
Yeah.
a niche because that's what you gotta do in like
Yeah.
such a competitive industry.
Yeah, I respect that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Do you have anything like crazy from this thing besides just like a light IPA? Because
No, unfortunately.
I don't think I get the caramel sweetness that they.
I was really trying to find it, and I kind of didn't.
No.
But it's probably what I'd have.
It is
someone-
sweet though. I do taste sweet.
Yeah, someone who like doesn't like craft beers, you know, they're like a Bud Light kind of guy. I'd probably have them try this.
It's a good introduction.
Yeah, because it's not like super intense.
Yeah. Not like a haze or something hazy.
I'd call it like a starter
Starter IPA.
starter pale ale. Yeah.
I agree.
All right, what's the thing?
All right, so our topic of the day is a theory, kind of thing that I've been thinking of a lot. Basically, I believe that everybody should have about 3 hobbies, but they have to be specified in certain areas. And that's like for maximum enjoyment out of life long term, I guess. So one of the things is like a fitness hobby. One of them is a like cerebral hobby, and one of them is like a relaxation / enjoyment hobby.
And this is for like a good life per se, like
Yeah, I would say
like,
to like be good at to like actually get good at stuff, but also be enjoying yourself. So you're not just like dedicating your entire life to one thing,
yeah,
but you're also not just like dabbling in so many things that you're just like shitty at everything, to where you're not actually like accomplishing anything in that field. I think like a lot of the great people, like Michelangelo, like Benjamin Franklin, they all had like a bunch of different subjects that they hopped into,
oh yeah,
but they weren't like they were big dabblers, but they were actually very focused in their dabbling. Like Michelangelo was known for painting, but he was also like a huge inventor. He was a sculptor, like he did all that shit. So I think that you can focus on just a few things, but they have to be kind of separated.
so like he had multiple, but he like stayed within his zone.
Yeah,
Like his zone was wide, but he was like
yeah.
He's
For
locked
example,
into
like
it.
what would he do? Like he would study science, like Michelangelo would study
Yeah.
science a lot, and he would dissect humans and dissect horses, but he did that so his art was better. So he would
yeah.
dissect a horse so that he could like fully understand how the horse's body moves, so he can depict it as best as possible on like the artwork.
That's pretty cool.
But that's not. I guess that's not really. I don't expect people to dissect horses, but that's what I think. So like for some of the things that I believe I want to focus on, like jiu-jitsu, which we discussed last podcast. That's like my physical hobby, and then like for my cerebral hobby or whatever, it's like reading and like writing, which
Okay.
is 2, I suppose. And then for my for fun hobby, it's mostly just like podcasts or something like that, like blogs, podcasts, talking to friends, drinking some brews.
Okay, yeah, like enjoyable, but
Yeah.
not like
Because I don't really play video games,
yeah.
because that would dominate most of my other hobbies. So it's just like it's a good way to balance out.
So the fun, like relaxing one, you don't have to. Would you say you like don't have to be good at it in a sense? Because it's like
You don't have to be good at it, but I think that most people want to be good at their hobbies.
yeah,
Like some people can do it just for fun.
yeah.
Like Winston Churchill, he just laid bricks. That was like his seriously.
It doesn't sound that.
He laid
fun.
bricks, and it was like his way to like get his mind
blow
off
off some
things.
steam
Yeah.
or something.
You just lay some bricks back in the day. But yeah, it doesn't. You don't have to be like. You don't have to be good at it.
Okay.
Like you can golf. Like if like golf is your thing.
Yeah.
Which I guess people might consider physical. I don't personally, but if you're like into golf,
Like a
that's your
fun-
leisurely activity.
Yeah,
You probably also want to like try to get good at it.
Yeah.
But for example, whenever I golf, because I don't do it often, I'm gonna suck no matter what, more or less, unless
Yeah.
you're like naturally talented, which I'm not. Sometimes I go golf, I'm like, okay, this is like I like golfing, but I know I'm not gonna have the best time because I personally like being good at things. And I know I suck.
But being better is more fun.
Yeah.
You know,
And I don't
if
want to
you
put in
can-
the time.
It's like bowling. Like I go bowling, and
Mhm.
I'm so bad at it that I almost don't want
Exactly.
to go.
But if that was your like leisurely hobby that you did like every weekend or something, which would make it less fun.
Yeah.
But if it's something you want to like actually get into, like golf or bowling
Nice
or
people do that though.
a bunch of stuff.
You get your special bowling ball, or
Yeah.
you get your cool set of golf clubs or whatever.
Or even like knitting or something.
I don't know. I'm new to this theory, so I don't know that I have 3 necessarily. For fitness, I used to lift. Now it's like jujitsu.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like school almost takes up. It's not really fun, but I feel like
Yeah.
being in school. I read so much. It's almost like exercise for the mind. I feel like that's taken up. I don't know that I have a fun one. I mean,
You can.
I play video games a lot, but how
Is that a
broad?
relaxation thing?
It depends because
Well,
sometimes I
absolutely.
rage. But I mean, how broad would you say that category is? Like
I think it's pretty broad. I think it almost can encompass anything.
there's people like I watch a lot of like Netflix and stuff. There's people I always think it's interesting who are into movies. You know,
Yeah.
like they watch the new movies that come out. Would that count? Would you call that a hobby?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, cool. Because I like that stuff.
Even just
yeah.
like wine tasting, beer drinking,
Yeah.
like tasting different beers,
Yeah.
getting into that. Like anything that like you are willing to put in a decent amount of time to like study, research, like but you enjoy it. It's not like a chore. It's not a job.
Yeah.
You don't make money from it necessarily.
Okay.
It's just something you do because you love it. Like, you love that thing.
I guess if that counts, I agree that counts as a hobby. But I guess your options are huge then. My brother got really into shaving for like
Yeah.
a while, which sounds like really funny probably if like you're not into it. But there's like you can go to antique shops and find like different like straight razors
Yeah.
and different like there's all different kinds of like ways to shave.
Yeah.
People get really into it.
Yeah.
But it's a hobby, you know.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
if you bring it up, he'll give you information on it, you know. So
Is he still into it? I know he talks about his straight razor.
he does shave with the straight razor now because that's really hard to do.
Yeah.
So I think he's almost like leveled out on it. Like if you can be good at shaving,
Yeah.
like I think he hit that point where
Yeah.
he knows a bunch about it, but he's not like seeking it out now.
Anymore. Okay.
He's mastered it.
Yeah, there's tons of things you can do.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just my theory, I guess,
Mhm.
on how to get a lot of enjoyment and happiness out of like your day to day, but also be getting good at stuff.
Oh yeah, it forces you to get good at what you're doing in
Yeah.
a way. What do you think about people who? I feel like most people go one of two ways, where they either just don't want to exercise, or they don't want to like do like cerebral type stuff, you know.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's normal.
But do you think they should force themselves to?
I think they should
To do
try to.
both?
I feel from my perspective, from what I've seen, it seems like a lot of people that don't exercise once they start, like me. Like, I didn't exercise until I was like 18,
Yeah.
19. I didn't like work out and stuff. But once you start doing it, then you all of a sudden enjoy it.
You get hooked
But you also have
pretty
to
quick.
find your thing. I think like some people don't want to lift, but you might do CrossFit, which I know is lifting, but
Mhm.
or you might not like CrossFit, but maybe you like jiu-jitsu, or maybe you don't like jiu-jitsu and you like whatever.
Yeah.
So I think you would kind of have to dabble. Like, you have to dabble until you find a thing, and then once you find a thing, then you can maybe commit to that for a little while.
I guess I think everyone could find something they enjoy,
Yeah.
especially with fitness.
Yeah. You also just need to take time to get into it, like to get into shape. Because like when you
Yeah.
first start running, for example, it sucks.
It's just
horrible.
pain.
Yeah, you're just in pain. Like literally, your legs hurt, your lungs hurt.
Yeah.
Like you just want to, and it's like a quarter mile in. You're like, geez, I have to run a mile, and it's like
Mhm.
I've been running for like whatever, a few minutes. It feels like I'm running for hours. So that's kind of like one of those things.
What's another one within everything that people do? I see people are really quick to quit. You know, like if you start off and you're really bad at it,
Mhm.
whether it's running or whether it's like a board game or something, it's like I don't like this, and they like
Yeah,
quit it
yeah.
really quickly. So
Which is another reason why I think it's good to like pick 3 things that you like and just stick to it, because it forces you to like build that like muscle, I guess, of like actually accomplishing something, like actually sticking it through.
they're somewhat proficient.
So I think you have to make a goal as well. So like you pick the 3 things,
Yeah.
or you don't necessarily pick them, but you find the 3 things that you like, and you decide that you want a goal. So if it's jiu-jitsu, your goal is purple belt.
Mhm.
Once you get purple belt, I'll like dabble in other things, or maybe I'll try to find something else, or
Yeah.
I'll keep going. You know, you don't know. Or
Okay.
if it's chess, you're like, okay, I want to learn X amount of moves, or I want to get a certain rating in chess, like a certain elo, and then you decide to do that, or you know whatever. You have to make a goal so that it's not just like I'm gonna be the best in the world at jiu-jitsu, because it's like it's probably not gonna happen.
Oh yeah, and you'd have to quit everything else
and that's like super, like that's all you're gonna do.
get burnt out.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Well, I've noticed I get burnt out if I do just one
Mm-hmm.
within a week. Like going to like the gym for jiu-jitsu or something. After 3 days in a row, I'm done with it. I'm
Yeah.
like, I want to watch TV
Yeah.
or like be a bum.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I like that overall. I think it makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. It's obviously not all encompassing. Like everyone
Yeah.
probably doesn't fall into it, but also for just like human health. Like even if you just read, like that's your cerebral thing, or you just like are learning a language or learning like how to play an instrument, which could be like leisurely or
Oh, instruments are cool. Yeah.
it could be either one.
Yeah.
Like all those things, like it's just so good for your brain, and then obviously exercise is good for your body, and then obviously everyone needs to de-stress, so you want something that just like helps you chill, like laying bricks.
I feel like most people like laying bricks. I feel like most people would probably hear that and be like, yeah, that's cool, but then not do it because it's hard to have like motivation, I guess. Did I tell you my?
Do you think that's because people are just so scattered though? Because I like
either scattered or like shut in. Like some people don't do much at all, and it's
Yeah.
like their comfort zone, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah, discomfort is
but one of the
super
two.
important.
Yeah.
For growing as a person.
Yeah. I think if you force yourself though, it'd be if you could get over it. I feel
At
like,
least initially.
did I tell you my 2-week rule thing?
Mm.
I'm pretty sure right when you started like working out, I told you that because that's when what I noticed it with people the most. But I feel like whatever hobby, this and that, the first 2 weeks is gonna suck,
Yeah.
and it's like not enjoyable, and you're really bad at it.
Yeah.
But if you can get past that, and if you say you make yourself do it every day or every other day, even after 2 weeks, it becomes a habit. I think.
Yeah.
So and then you can enjoy it because you're not forcing yourself to do it. You're just doing it, and that lets you like enjoy it
Mhm.
or get better or whatever.
Yeah, one thing I heard was if you have like a goal or whatever, never skip it for more than a day.
Yeah.
So if you like skip working out for a day, then you will do it the next day.
Same idea, and I think you're most likely to do that in the
Yeah.
first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You're like, I've been going for a week straight. I'll just take the day off. It's like, no, you're gonna like relapse. Or
Also,
something.
just making it easier on yourself.
Yeah.
Like the one thing for I don't remember who it was, but they were talking about running, and they were saying that they wanted to run. It might have been every day. They said every day, but their only goal was to put their shoes on. So to get their running shorts on, tie their running shoes on,
Oh yeah.
and then if they don't want to run still, then they don't have to run.
So that does it.
But at least you're like once you get like most people, once they put those shoes on, tie them up, and they're standing by the door, they're not going to take their shoes off and
Yeah. Say now I can get back in
they're
bed.
just going to be like, okay, I'll go for a short run, and then at least get something done. So you have to make like your goal really small, but and that helps with the habit as well. So if you're if you're just putting your shoes on, like even if you don't do it, like, you don't have to beat yourself up. You're like, okay, I did what I said I was going to do. I put my shoes on. And then if you don't run, then that's fine. That's you said you were just gonna put your shoes on. That's what you did. Good for you. Like, you should be happy about that.
I think that's a great way to approach. Actually, I did that in school. I'd have huge reading assignments, right, like 50, 100 pages or something, and I'd be on my phone and like ignoring it. And I tell myself like just read 5 pages without stopping, and I wouldn't read the whole thing. But I noticed if I could get 5 pages straight, I'd be into what I'm reading suddenly, and I'd go more like 15 or 20, and then I'd take a break.
Yeah.
But if I tried telling myself, just read 20 pages straight, and it's like kind of daunting, and I get sick of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just get the ball rolling.
Yeah. And I mean, the reason why I like that theory so much, is just because people need to get good at stuff. They need to challenge themselves, and they also just need to chill.
Is that the
and
bigger
relax.
thing? Do you think people need to be good at? I mean, I think it'd make people happier.
I
if
think
they
it
were
makes
good
the
at
world
things.
literally better.
Oh, you could almost make it like a. If you take a big scale, if everyone starts doing this, it's like a.
If everyone starts getting good at 3 things, like all of a sudden you have like a society that's like really like some people's hobbies like coding. So if like you're coding and you're in shape, like then we have better healthcare. Like if everyone's working out, even if it's just
Okay,
like,
there could be real benefits.
and if everyone's helping their mind, maybe there's like less neuro diseases and less dementia. Because a lot of studies say that people who continually learn throughout their lives are less likely to develop dementia, and they also develop it later.
Okay.
So like if they're like prone for, like they're gonna get dementia, basically you're like, yeah, you have the gene. If they're reading and strengthening their mind, it like comes on later, and it's also less impact. Like short term. So you develop it later because you're strengthening like myelin in your brain. So I guess like
I think I've seen
and
that.
I think dementia like deteriorates that. So you're kind of like fighting it, I guess.
So it's really on all areas you get.
I think so. And also, it's like so many Americans are so stressed out. They're like literally running around. They work in tons of hours. They have no time. Like you just have to take a step back and be like, okay, what am I trying to do with my life? Like, do I really just want to work, 12 hours a day to make a couple extra $100? Maybe you need to do that. And that, like, if you need to do that, obviously do that. But if you're just doing it to like afford a Porsche or something, it's like, are you sure you don't want
just a material.
You want to just destroy your health, and you want to just destroy your mind and be stressed out and just like not even enjoying your life just to like pay for.
Probably help people just relate to each other better too, because there's people who do too much, but then there's a lot of people who don't do anything at all.
Yeah.
Say everyone picks up one more hobby or something. It's almost like connect the dots. You start seeing other people who you only meet through a hobby or something. So I guess it could help you not be shelled in a sense.
100%.
That'd be,
Help make friends. But you can even
Yeah.
do hobbies if you're like a really, really big hermit, I guess.
Yeah.
Like your hobbies can be things like you can do online chess.
everything, you can do anything from home, but
Yeah.
you're still
Even
doing
exercise
it.
you can do at home. You can do you can just like do push-ups.
Yeah.
Or you can do like an online class, like the Zoom stuff that they do nowadays.
Mhm.
Obviously, that's probably not the most beneficial thing for you, but it's an
Yeah.
option.
Yeah.
At least you're learning something and you're trying something new, or you're scaling back. You're doing so much shit that you are
Yeah.
terrible at everything.
I feel like that's a smaller percentage. I know you said you think
so?
you
I
do.
think
a
I
lot.
was like that.
I think it's fairly rare that people do too much, but I've known the type, and it's like they know a little bit of everything, but
Mhm.
they're like they never lock into something.
You're
It's
the
like,
jack of all trades.
yeah, it's like kind of
Yeah.
sporadic almost, just like bouncing around.
Yeah.
People do it on YouTube. People get really into like deep on YouTube, and
Yeah.
it almost I feel like it brings people new hobbies,
Yeah.
but too quickly in a way, because by the time you get sucked into something, it's like on a new channel.
Yeah.
I've seen people like, oh, I saw this thing on YouTube, and they're like deep in it, and then but then next week it's a different,
The new hobby. they
a
have.
whole new hobby
Yeah.
that they got deep on. Like
It's because people get motivated, which is also why I think you need to stick to about three
Yeah.
things. Which I mean, I'm sure there's give and take. Like maybe it's 2, maybe it's 4. If you have a job, maybe it's it's definitely not like a fine number. But even if you're, God damn it, I forgot what I was gonna
God damn it.
Well- say. Fuck.
There it is.
I guess that's the end of the podcast. See ya.
Oh,
What was I gonna say though?
I don't know what you're gonna say. I actually have no clue what you're gonna say.
I'm really pissed about that.
People get sucked into something. Bunch of things. YouTube.
Oh yeah, people get sucked into a bunch of shit, and all of a sudden, I don't know.
Or you get like they realize it's hard or something.
No, I was gonna say that they get sucked into something and they're just motivated through it. So it's not like an actual passion; it's just like something they gain a little bit of interest in,
Mm-hmm.
and so they're like doing it.
Mm-hmm.
They're like spending all of their time just like looking into that one thing, like van life or something.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And they're just spending like hours and hours, and they don't actually act on it.
Oh yeah, you get that people doing it like vicariously.
Yeah,
In a
you're
sense.
like living through someone else, so you're not acting on it.
Yeah.
But like you're like, man, that'd be great, but you never actually do
It
it.
feels like you're doing
Yeah,
it.
it feels like you're doing it. It's like a super like a mess with your head, and you're spending so much time on it
Yeah.
that you're like, and then after like a few weeks, you're like over it because you just spend like freaking 80 hours.
It feels like you
and,
did too. If
yeah.
you're watching like a big YouTuber who's
Yeah.
doing the coolest shit,
Yeah.
and you feel like you've done it in a sense,
Yeah.
you're like, got that out of my system.
Yeah.
I do think, I think every single hobby has some substance to it. I think anything people enjoy with like normal limits has some substance to it. I forget when I started thinking, because I was in grade school or something, and as a really little kid, I thought the lamest thing was collecting marbles,
Mhm.
right? Because it's like, I don't know, it's like, who does that?
Right.
But then like you like if you listen to someone who does something even like collects marbles or like
Stamps or something.
church stamps, like train sets or
Cards,
something. I
yeah.
thought trains were lame as a kid. It's like they still have this really specific knowledge on it,
Yeah.
and even if it's not going to be my favorite thing, I think you listen to someone or you watch someone and something they enjoy, and there's something there that's going to click. Like, oh, at the least, I see why people like that. Like,
Yeah.
you know what? That there is something cool there.
It is cool. It's cool when someone's passionate about anything.
Anything, yeah, anything.
If you're like really passionate about picture frames or something, that's a picture frame. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, it's really like it's crazy. You know
Start
that.
telling you about like the details and like what area that comes
Yeah.
from. It's like I wouldn't be into it personally,
But
but
it's kind of cool that you know that.
yeah, you go, oh man.
It's cool that someone knows that.
Yeah.
Even like the sommelier thing, where people are just so into like
Wine
everything
tasters.
about wine.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if I'm gonna spend years and years just tasting wine, but
Like, I can
it's
just
cool.
enjoy a glass
Yeah.
of
And
wine.
I enjoy that you know that knowledge. So thanks.
But it's cool, yeah. So now I think it's really weird when people, I guess, make fun of hobbies, you know, because adults do that, you know, like, oh, that's lame as hell.
Oh yeah.
But
And those adults are not doing shit.
yeah, but then it's like they're not doing. It's cooler than what they're doing
Yeah.
most of the time.
Yeah.
Got me looking at these picture frames
nice
now.
picture frames,
Thinking
honestly.
about where these frames come from.
This one doesn't even have a frame. But
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, I think. A globe. I'm actually gonna end the podcast here. So that's Don't Fake. Have a good one.
No, I was like.